Hey class, today we're going to look at what happens when we have more than one operation with integers, and we're going to use our order of operations to simplify those expressions. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to simplify expressions that contain multiple operations and integers, like the example you see. Let's get started. First, let's review what are the order of operations. Order of operations are the rules we follow when simplifying expressions with more than one operation. It tells us what order to go in so that all of us get to the same answer. So let's go through what the order of operations are. You may have heard of PEMDAS, which is a little acronym or a short way to remember the operations. So our first operation is parentheses, which is the P in PEMDAS. Parentheses includes all of our grouping symbols. So that includes parentheses, braces, and brackets. And remember from our absolute value lesson that absolute value is also considered grouping or parentheses. Then we have our exponents. So after we simplify everything in our grouping or our parentheses, we move to exponents. After that, we move to multiplication and division, which gets done from left to right. So if multiplication appears first in the problem, then you'll do it first. If division appears first, then you'll do the division before multiplication. After that is addition and subtraction, and that again will be done from left to right. So if subtraction appears first in the problem, then you'll do subtraction before addition. All right, let's look at some examples. So I'm going to leave the order of operations up there to help you. And then number 1 says 7 plus 54 divided by 3 times negative 2. So let's go through our operations and check them off as we go. So first is parentheses or any grouping. Well, we do have parentheses here, but there's nothing to simplify inside them, so we don't have to do that. Those parentheses are just there to tell us to multiply that negative 2 by the 3. So we're done with parentheses. Now exponents. Are there any exponents? No, so we're done with exponents. Then multiplication and division. Is there multiplication and division in this problem? Yes, there's division right here, and then there's multiplication right here. So what am I going to do first? Am I going to multiply first or divide first? Well, remember, multiplication and division get done from left to right, so as they appear in the problem. So in this problem, as we're going left to right, our division occurs first. So we're going to divide before we multiply. So bring down that 7 plus, because we're not adding yet. And now we're going to do our 54 divided by 3. Well, 54 divided by 3 is 18. And then we're going to bring down that multiply by negative 2 because we have not multiplied yet. Okay, so now we did our division. Now we have to do our multiplication. So we're going to do our 18 times negative 2. So we have a positive 18 times a negative 2. Well, positive times a negative is a negative, and 18 times 2 is 36. And now we can't forget about that plus 7 in front, so we also have to write that. So now we have 7 plus negative 36. So this is our addition and subtraction. So we're going to ask ourselves, are the signs the same or are they different? Well, we have a positive 7 and a negative 36. So they are different. So if you like the strategy of using different teams, positive is a team, negative is a team. How many positives are there? 7. How many negatives are there? 36. So who's winning? The negatives. So our answer is negative. And by how much? So 36 minus 7, 29. So your final answer is negative 29. All right, so let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 9 minus 2 squared minus the absolute value of 3 minus 17 minus negative 4. So there is a lot going on here. So we really want to take our time and stay organized and neat. So first we're going to do our parentheses. So we have two sets of grouping or parentheses. We have the parentheses around the 9 minus 2, and we have the absolute value bars around 3 minus 17. So we're going to simplify those first. So 9 minus 2 is 7, and don't forget that's squared, minus the absolute value of 3 minus 17. Well, 3 minus 17, we have a positive 3 and a negative 17. So who's winning and by how much? The positives are winning, and they are winning by 14. So that's going to be negative 14. And we need to take the absolute value of what's inside there. So the absolute value of negative 14 is positive 14. Remember, absolute value is distance. So you're finding the distance, negative 14 is from 0. So that's 14. And now we need to bring down that minus negative 4 that we haven't done yet. So minus negative 4. Okay, we finished all of our grouping. So we're going to move to exponents. We do have exponents here. We have that exponent of 2 in that 7 squared. So we're going to do 7 squared. Well, 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. Then we need to bring down the rest. So minus 14 minus negative 4. So since there's no multiplication or division, this brings us to our addition and subtraction. So you'll notice we have a minus negative 4 or a negative outside of those parentheses. So remember, that's like saying negative 1 times negative 4 or the opposite of negative 4. So that double negative we need to change to a positive. And then bring down our 49 minus 14. Okay, so now we have positive 49, positive 4, and a negative 14. Well, 49 plus 4 is 53, and I'm going to continue my work right here. 53, and then minus 14. 53 minus 14 is 39. So there was a lot going on in that problem, so that's why you really have to stay organized and be neat, because you could easily make a mistake. All right, let's look at a few more problems together, and then I'll let you try on your own. So number 3 says 24 minus 4 squared times 3 plus 15. So we're going to follow our order of operations. Are there any parentheses or grouping symbols? No. Are there any exponents? Yes, there's exponents. We have 4 squared right here. So I'm going to simplify that 4 squared. Well, 4 squared is the same as 4 times 4, which is 16. Then I need to make sure I bring down everything before that. So the 24, the minus, times 3, plus 15. So I just brought everything else down. Now I need to see, is there multiplication or division? Yes, there's multiplication. The 16 times 3 right here. Or you can think of it as negative 16 times 3. Either way, I'm just going to do 16 times 3, which is 48. And then bring down everything else. So bring down that plus 15 and the 24 minus. So now we have 24 minus 48 plus 15. Okay, is there division? No, so we're done that. Now we have addition and subtraction. So we can just look at it as positives and negatives. So we have positive 24, negative 48, and then positive 15. We're going to combine those positives. 24 plus 15 is 39. And then minus 48. So we have positive 39 and then negative 48. Okay, so who's winning? The positives are 39 and the negatives are 48. The negatives are winning, so our answer will be negative. And 48 minus 39 gets you 9. So your final answer is negative 9. All right, last example we're going to do together. Number 4 says 72 divided by 2 cubed plus 5, all over 8 plus negative 2 times 5. Now it's important to know that this fraction bar represents division. Okay? It's also important to note that when we have things in a fraction like this, the top needs to be simplified, and so does the bottom before you divide. So you're going to simplify the top, you're going to simplify the bottom, and then you'll divide at the end. So let's take a look at what I mean. So first, are there any parentheses? No, just parentheses that mean multiplication. So we're done with that. Are there any exponents? Yes, there's a 2 cubed right here. So we're going to start there. So we have 72 divided by 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 cubed is 8 plus 5. All divided by 8 plus negative 2 times 5. All right, I did my exponents, so is there any multiplication and division? Yep, there's division on top, so I need to simplify that. 72 divided by 8 is going to get me 9, and then bring down that plus 5. All over 8 plus, well, there's multiplication on the bottom, so I can simplify that. Negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. All right, I got to keep simplifying the top and bottom. So 9 plus 5 is 14, and 8 plus negative 10 is negative 2. So now we have 14 divided by negative 2, which is negative 7. So, sorry, I keep running out of room. Negative 7. Okay, there's a lot to do on there. So if you needed a separate piece of paper to show off your work, you could absolutely do that. All right, now you're going to try. So try number 1 and 2 on your own paper. If you're on the note page and there's not enough room, then go get some scrap paper. So go ahead and try number 1 and 2. All right, so take a moment, check your answers with mine. Pause the video if you need to look through the work and try again. Number 1 was 0. Yes, you can get an answer of 0. And then number 2 is negative 18. All right, last 2 problems for today, number 3 and 4. All right, so take a moment, check your answers with my answers. Pause the video if you need to try again, or just take your time to look at my work. And that's it for today's lesson. I know it's a difficult one, so hopefully in class tomorrow we'll do some more practice together and come prepared with any questions you have. Have a good day.